Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into something pretty interesting,
Yeah,
turmeric.
turmeric, yeah.
It's one of those spices, I think, that everybody knows, even if you don't cook a lot.
Right.
It's the thing that makes curry yellow, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I have to admit, I was surprised when I started looking into turmeric for this episode.
Oh, yeah.
I knew there were some health benefits, but wow.
It's pretty impressive.
Like, we're talking everything from inflammation to skin health, even potential brain benefits.
Exactly.
And, you know, all this is backed up by some pretty solid research, which we'll get into later. But it's really amazing to me how something so common, just sitting there in our spice rack, can have this kind of power.
Right. It's like right under our noses.
Right. Exactly. And, speaking of history, this isn't some new fad, right?
Oh, no, not at all.
Turmeric's been used for, like, what, thousands of years?
Thousands of years, yeah. We're talking ancient civilizations, like way back.
So, way before modern medicine and all that.
Right.
People were already using turmeric for all sorts of things.
For healing, for dyeing, for all sorts of purposes.
Exactly. And that really got me thinking, like, what did they know that we're just starting to rediscover now?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's definitely a lot of wisdom in those traditional practices.
Right.
They were on to something back then.
So let's start our journey back in time, shall we?
Let's do it.
Where should we begin?
Well, I think it makes sense to start in ancient India, where turmeric really took root, so to speak.
Okay, so India, turmeric, what's the connection?
Well, in ancient India, turmeric was known as Haridra, which is a beautiful name.
Haridra. Okay.
And it was a cornerstone of Ayurveda.
Ah, Ayurveda, that's the traditional Indian system of medicine, right?
Exactly. And they believed that turmeric had this incredible power to cleanse the body and mind.
Cleanse the body and mind.
Yeah, they used it for everything, skin problems, digestive issues, respiratory ailments, you name it.
So they saw it as kind of a cure-all almost.
I mean, not exactly a cure-all, but definitely a very versatile and powerful healing agent.
Okay, so it wasn't just about adding flavor to food. It was like a key ingredient in their whole approach to health and well-being.
Exactly.
That's fascinating. And did other cultures use turmeric in similar ways?
Oh, absolutely. Turmeric actually traveled along the Silk Road trade routes and made its way to ancient China.
Oh, wow. So all the way to China.
Yeah, all the way to China.
And did they have a different name for it there?
They did. They called it Zhan Huang.
Zhang Huan. Okay, got it.
And get this, they used it for many of the same purposes as in Ayurveda.
Really?
Yeah, they used it to improve circulation, alleviate pain, even for treating wounds.
Wow. So even though these cultures were so different and separated by, thousands of miles,
Right.
they both recognized the healing power of turmeric.
It's pretty remarkable, isn't it? It really speaks to the inherent power of this plant.
Yeah, and it makes me even more curious about, like, what modern science has to say about all of this.
Yeah, it's almost like they were ahead of their time. Right.
Right, exactly. So let's fast forward to today.
Okay.
What have scientists discovered about what makes turmeric so special?
Well, the key to turmeric's magic lies in a compound called curcumin.
Curcumin. Okay, I've heard that word before.
That's what gives turmeric its bright yellow color, and it's really where all the action is in terms of health benefit.
Okay, so curcumin, bright yellow, health benefits. I'm starting to get the picture.
Good. And in recent years, research on curcumin has just exploded.
Really?
Yeah, scientists are finding out that it's a potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant.
Okay, hold on. Those are some big words.
Yeah, I know. Science-y jargon.
Could you break those down for me a little bit?
Absolutely. So first, let's talk about antioxidants.
Okay.
Think of it this way. Every day, our bodies are exposed to all sorts of things that cause damage to our cells.
Okay, like what?
Well, things like pollution, stress, even just the normal process of aging.
All right, yeah, it makes sense.
And all of these things create these nasty little molecules called free radicals.
Free radicals, eh?
And free radicals are basically like little troublemakers. They go around damaging our cells and causing all sorts of problems.
Oh, okay, so they're not good.
No, not good at all. But here's where antioxidants come in.
Good.
Antioxidants, like curcumin, act like little warriors. They go in and neutralize those free radicals, protecting our cells from damage.
So it's like our internal defense system against all the bad stuff out there.
Exactly, like a little army fighting for our health.
I like that analogy. And what about anti-inflammatory? What does that mean in simple terms?
Well, inflammation is basically the body's natural response to injury or infection.
Right.
It's a good thing in the short term, but when inflammation becomes chronic, it can lead to all sorts of health problems.
Okay, like what?
Well, think about things like arthritis, heart disease, even cancer.
Oh, wow. Yeah, those are definitely not good.
No. Not good at all. And curcumin has this amazing ability to block the pathways in the body that cause inflammation.
So it's like calming things down, preventing that chronic inflammation from happening.
That's exactly right. It's like a peacemaker in the body, helping to keep things in balance.
Okay, so we've got the antioxidants fighting the free radicals and the anti-inflammatory action keeping things calm.
Exactly. A powerful combination.
I'm starting to see why there's so much buzz about turmeric.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff.
Now, I have to ask you about golden milk.
Yeah,
It's like everywhere these days.
it's so popular, and for good reason.
Yeah, and I've seen all those pictures online, and to be honest, it looks a little intimidating to me.
I know what you mean.
Like, what exactly is it? Is it just like turmeric mixed with milk? Or is there more to it?
There's definitely more to it than just turmeric and milk.
Okay, good, because that doesn't sound very appealing.
Right. Golden milk actually has roots in Ayurveda.
Ah, Ayurveda again.
Yep, they've been using it for centuries for its soothing and anti-inflammatory properties.
So it's got that ancient wisdom backing it up.
Yeah, it's not just a trendy drink. It's got a long history.
I like that. But tell me what's actually in it.
It's actually pretty simple. The base is usually warm milk.
Okay, any kind of milk.
Yep, you can use dairy milk or any plant-based milk you like.
Okay, so that's good. I'm lactose intolerant, so I'd probably use almond milk or something.
Almond milk works great. Then you add in, of course, the star ingredient, turmeric.
Right. Gotta have the turmeric.
Exactly. And then you add in some other warming spices like cinnamon and ginger.
Oh, okay. That sounds pretty good.
And, of course, a little pinch of black pepper for that absorption boost we talked about.
Right, the black pepper trick.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got milk, turmeric, cinnamon, ginger, black pepper, anything else?
Well, you can add a little sweetener if you like. Honey or maple syrup work well.
Okay, so that sounds like something I could actually get behind. Not too crazy.
Right. It's a very comforting and delicious drink.
Yeah, and I'm all about comfort, especially these days.
Me too.
So you're telling me this golden milk, with all these spices and stuff, it can actually help with inflammation.
It really can. The turmeric, of course, is a powerful anti-inflammatory.
We talked about that.
And the warming spices like cinnamon and ginger also have anti-inflammatory properties.
Oh, okay, so it's like a double whammy.
Exactly. And the warmth of the milk itself can also be soothing.
So it's like good for the body and the soul kind of thing.
Exactly. A lot of people find it helpful for easing aches and pains, improving sleep, or just relaxing after a long day.
I could definitely use some of that.
Yeah.
In your research, you mentioned you've been feeling strength lately.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Has golden milk been helping with that?
I've been trying to have a cup before bed, and I have to say, I've noticed I'm sleeping more soundly.
Really?
Yeah. And even just the ritual of making it, warming up the milk, adding the spices, it's kind of like a little self-care moment at the end of the day.
Oh, I like that. A little ritual to wind down.
Yeah, it's definitely become part of my routine.
Okay, you've convinced me I need to try this, but I'm a total newbie when it comes to this stuff.
Oh, don't worry, it's super easy.
Really? Because I'm not like a master chef or anything.
You don't have to be. You just warm up the milk, whisk in the spices, and you're basically done.
Okay, so no fancy equipment or anything.
Nope, just a saucepan and a whisk. There are tons of recipes online, but I can give you my go-to version if you like.
Yeah, that would be great. A simple, quick recipe.
All right, so here's what I do. I heat up a cup of almond milk.
Okay,
I find it a little lighter than dairy milk, but you can use whatever you like.
got it.
Then I add in a teaspoon of turmeric powder, half a teaspoon each of cinnamon and ginger,
Okay, keeping track.
a pinch of black pepper, of course, and a drizzle of honey for sweetness.
Honey, yum.
Right. Then I just gently whisk it all together until it's nice and fragrant,
Okay,
and then I strain it just to make it extra smooth.
strain it like through a coffee filter or something.
Yeah, a coffee filter or a fine mesh sieve works great.
Okay, I can handle that. That sounds super doable, even for me.
I told you it was easy.
I'm impressed. Okay, so golden milk, good for inflammation, good for sleep, good for stress.
Yep. It's a multitasker.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, I've got to ask, is there any evidence that turmeric can actually help with mood and things like anxiety?
That's a great question, and it's one that researchers are really starting to explore more in depth.
Okay, so there's not a ton of research yet.
There's some promising evidence, but we definitely need more studies to confirm the effects.
Okay, that's fair. But what does the current research suggest?
Well, it seems that curcumin might have mood-boosting effects, and it seems to work in a couple of ways.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
First, Remember how we talked about curcumin being a powerful anti-inflammatory?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that chronic inflammation isn't just bad for our physical health, it can also impact our mental well-being.
Oh, interesting.
So, some studies suggest that reducing inflammation throughout the body, including in the brain, might play a role in improving mood and easing symptoms of anxiety and depression.
So it's like taking care of our physical health can also have a positive impact on our mental health.
Exactly. It's all connected.
I like that, the mind-body connection.
Yeah, it's really important. And secondly, curcumin seems to influence certain neurotransmitters in the brain, like serotonin and dopamine.
Oh, those are the happy chemicals, right?
Exactly. They're involved in regulating mood, motivation, and feelings of well-being.
So curcumin might actually be boosting those feel-good chemicals.
That's what the research suggests. Pretty
Hey.
cool, right?
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So it's not just about reducing the negative, like inflammation. It might also be boosting the positive, like those happy chemicals.
Right. A two-pronged approach to mood support.
I like it. Now, I know you always emphasize that this is not medical advice.
Right. Always consult with your doctor.
So turmeric is not a substitute for professional help if someone is struggling with a serious mood disorder.
That's really important to remember. Turmeric is a complementary approach, not a replacement for professional treatment.
Absolutely. But it's still fascinating to learn about these potential benefits.
Definitely. It adds another dimension to turmeric's already impressive resume.
So we've talked about golden milk, but what about turmeric tea?
Turmeric tea is great too.
Is it basically the same thing, just without the milk?
It's a simpler version, yeah. You just steep turmeric root or powder in hot water like any other herbal tea.
Okay, so super straightforward. I'm a big tea drinker, so I'd definitely be into that.
You can also add lemon, honey, or other spices you enjoy to make it your own.
Oh, I like that. I'm all about customization.
Me too. It's a fun way to experiment with different flavors.
Now, I know in your research you specifically mentioned looking for natural ways to support your skin health.
Yeah, that's a big one for me.
Does turmeric have anything to offer in that department?
You bet it does. Turmeric has a long history of being used topically for skin health.
Topically, so like putting it on my skin.
Exactly. Remember all those amazing anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties we talked about?
Yeah.
Well, they can work wonders on the skin too.
So it's not just about eating it or drinking it. We can actually put it directly on our skin.
Yep. In traditional medicine, turmeric has been used in pastes, masks, and ointments to treat all sorts of skin conditions.
Okay, I'm officially mind blown. What kind of skin conditions can it help with?
Well, it's traditionally been used for things like wound healing, soothing irritation, and even improving the appearance of acne and eczema.
No way, eczema. Because I've been dealing with some eczema lately, and it's been driving me crazy.
Oh, I hear you. Eczema can be really frustrating.
Yeah, it's like nothing seems to work.
Mm.
So how does turmeric actually help with eczema?
Well, a few things seem to be at play.
Okay, let's hear it.
First, that anti-inflammatory action we keep talking about can really help calm down the redness, swelling, and itching that are so common with eczema.
So it's like calming down the inflammation that's causing the problem.
Yeah, exactly. And secondly, curcumin's antioxidant properties can help protect the skin from damage caused by things like pollution and UV radiation.
Oh, right, because those things can make eczema worse, right?
Exactly. It's like giving your skin an extra layer of protection.
I like it. Anything else?
And some research even suggests that turmeric may have antimicrobial properties, which means it could help combat bacteria that can sometimes exacerbate skin conditions.
So it's like a triple threat against eczema.
Anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and antimicrobial.
I'm sold. This is making me think about all those beauty products that claim to have turmeric in them.
Yeah, there are a lot of those out there now.
Are those worth trying, or is it better to just go the DIY route?
Well, there are definitely some great turmeric-based skincare products out there.
Okay, good.
But it's important to choose wisely.
Right, because not all products are created equal.
Exactly. Look for products that contain a high concentration of curcumin and that are free of harsh chemicals or artificial fragrances.
Okay, good tips. And what about DIY? Is that a good option too?
Absolutely. You can easily make your own turmeric masks and treatments at home using simple ingredients like turmeric powder, honey, yogurt, or coconut oil.
Okay, that sounds way less intimidating than trying to decipher all those ingredient lists on those fancy products.
Right. It can be overwhelming. DIY is a great way to keep things simple and natural.
I'm loving this. Do you have any favorite DIY recipes you can share?
I'd be happy to. One of my go-to masks for soothing eczema is super simple. Just mix a teaspoon of turmeric powder with a tablespoon of plain yogurt and a few drops of honey.
Okay, that sounds easy enough.
It is. Just apply it to the affected area and leave it on for about 15 minutes before rinsing.
Okay, I'm writing this down. I can totally see myself doing a little spa night with turmeric masked.
That sounds lovely.
This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening. I feel like I'm seeing turmeric in a whole new light.
Me too. It's amazing how much this one spice has to offer.
It really is. And the best part is we're still learning more about its potential all the time.
Exactly. The research is ongoing, and there are always new discoveries being made.
That's what I love about these deep dives. There's
Yeah.
always something new to learn.
It keeps things exciting.
Speaking of discoveries, I know you had some more to share about the latest scientific research on turmeric.
Oh, yeah. There's some really interesting stuff coming out.
What else have researchers been uncovering about its benefits?
Well, one area that's really generating a lot of buzz is a turmeric's potential for protecting our brains as we age.
Oh yeah, brain health. That was something I was really curious about when I was doing my research for this episode.
To you and everyone else, it seems like everyone's looking for ways to keep their brains sharp as they get older.
Right, exactly. I mean, who wouldn't want that?
Exactly. And there's some pretty compelling evidence that curcumin might actually play a role in reducing the risk of Alzheimer's disease.
Alzheimer's, wow, that's a big one.
It is, and some studies even suggest that it could potentially improve cognitive function in those who already have Alzheimer's.
Okay, so not just prevention, but maybe even treatment. That's incredible. But how does it actually work in the brain? Like, what's the mechanism?
Well, it seems that curcumin has some pretty impressive neuroprotective properties.
Neuroprotective. Okay, break that down for me.
Basically, it means that it can help protect the brain from damage.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it seems to work in a few ways.
Okay, I'm all ears.
First, remember how we talked about curcumin being a powerful anti-inflammatory?
Yeah, that's kind of its superpower, right?
Right. Well, it turns out that inflammation in the brain is a key factor in many neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's.
Oh, so it's like calming down the inflammation in the brain, kind of like it does in the rest of the body.
Exactly. And by reducing that inflammation, it might help protect brain cells from damage.
Makes sense. Anything else?
Yeah, curcumin also seems to help clear out those amyloid plaques that are a hallmark of Alzheimer's disease.
Amyloid plaques, those are the things that, like, gunk up the brain, right?
Exactly. They disrupt communication between brain cells and contribute to cognitive decline.
So curcumin is like cleaning up the brain.
In a way, yes. And some research even indicates that curcumin could improve communication between brain cells.
Okay, so it's reducing inflammation, clearing out the gunk, and boosting brain cell communication.
Pretty impressive, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So it's like giving our brains an extra layer of defense as we get older.
That's a great way to put it. Now, of course, more research is needed to fully understand the long-term effects of curcumin on brain health.
Right, always more research.
The early findings are very encouraging, and they definitely point to the possibility of using turmeric as a natural way to support brain health and potentially delay cognitive decline.
I love that. Natural ways to support our health. That's what we're all about.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm so excited about all this research on turmeric.
Me too. It's like this little spice that we've had in our kitchens all along might hold the key to some pretty amazing health benefits.
Right. It's really remarkable.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from turmeric's ancient history to the latest scientific research.
It's been a whirlwind tour of turmeric.
It has. Is there anything else we should know before we wrap up our deep dive? Any final words of wisdom?
Just a reminder that while turmeric is generally safe, it's always best to start with small amounts and see how your body reacts.
Right. Listen to your body. That's always good advice.
And of course, if you have any specific health concerns or are taking any medications, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor before adding turmeric supplements to your routine.
Absolutely. Safety first, always. Well, this has been such an eye-opening deep dive for me.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation for this humble spice that's been sitting in my pantry all along.
Me too. It's easy to take something like turmeric for granted, but when you really dig into the research, it's amazing what you discover.
It really is. And I'm already thinking about all the different ways I can incorporate turmeric into my life.
Oh yeah, like what?
Well, I'm definitely going to try that golden milk recipe you shared.
Good for you. I think you'll really like it.
And maybe some turmeric tea in the afternoon.
That's a great idea.
And who knows, maybe I'll even try a DIY turmeric face mask this weekend.
Go for it.
I'm feeling inspired. This whole deep dive has made me realize that there's So much more to learn about natural remedies.
There really is. It's a whole world waiting to be explored.
And that's what I love about these deep dives. It's like we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
I agree. It's an ongoing journey of discovery.
Well said. And on that note, I want to thank you for joining me on this fascinating journey into the world of turmeric.
It's been a pleasure. Always happy to talk about turmeric.
And to all of you listening, we'd love to hear from you. Have you tried turmeric in any unique or interesting ways? Maybe you have a favorite recipe or a go-to DIY beauty treatment.
Yeah, share your turmeric wisdom with us.
We're always excited to learn from our listeners, so head over to our social media pages and let us know what you think.
We'll be there.
Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.